Hello and welcome back to the Vita vs 3DS YouTube channel. In this episode we have our very first and long overdue showdown. This showdown features the two very best racers on each platform, Wipeout 2048 on PlayStation Vita versus Mario Kart 7 on Nintendo 3DS. After comparing their graphics, their sound, and their gameplay, their overall packages will be assessed and a winner will be, potentially, chosen. Wipeout 2048 is quite possibly the most visually stunning game on the PlayStation Vita. The ship models are excellent and very detailed. The effects are quite nicely done as well, but the real showstopper in this game are the tracks. Being set several decades before the other Wipeout games, 2048 has less of a futuristic vibe than the other games, but trades that plain digital look of them for a more city-like appeal and more city-like environments. These look fantastic. It's really cool climbing up skyscrapers or blasting through parks in this game. Unfortunately, this new and more lively setting seems to have taken a hit on the frame rate of the game. Although the game runs at a steady and more than acceptable 30 frames per second and doesn't drop, it doesn't reach the ultra-smooth 60 frames per second which helped make Wipeout HD on PS3 and Wipeout Pulse on PSP so awesome. Visually, Mario Kart 7 is a slice above Double Dash on the GameCube and Mario Kart Wii, though it doesn't blow them out of the water. This game uses color very nicely, and the environments are extremely varied and vibrant. The best aspect about this game's visuals is its silky smooth frame rate. Although you can't tell by this video, the game runs at a constant 60 frames per second in 2D and 3D mode, having very smooth gameplay as a result. Though this is rather unsurprising, since there simply isn't much detail to the game and there isn't much going on. Character models are nice, but very basic. Animations are fine, but very finite. Environments are nice and colorful, but are not very detailed compared to Wipeout 2048. There also aren't many effects happening, and the ones that do are very basic. Overall, Wipeout 2048 takes the graphics category decisively. Although Wipeout 2048 doesn't have the massive 1080p resolution or the fluid 60 frames per second of Wipeout HD, one area where it outclasses all other Wipeout games is its sound. The music in this game is a perfectly fitting mix of trance, electronica, and dubstep, which feature artists such as The Chemical Brothers, deadmau5, and Dirty Loud. Putting on a decent pair of headphones and jamming out in zone mode is the way to go in this game. And if the music isn't your cup of tea, you can simply mute it and put on your own music via the Vita's custom soundtrack feature. The ships in this game, unlike in previous Wipeout games, sound amazing. Their engines roar with this futuristic machine-like sound as you start to reach top speeds. Each team's engine sounds different as well. Perhaps Studio Liverpool put these engine sounds in to stay consistent with the series canon, and since this game is set several decades before the other games, perhaps they didn't have the technology to muffle out the engine sounds yet in the game. Either way, the roaring engines are a welcome addition to the franchise. That said, there are only 14 tracks of racing music in the game, which is rather low for a racing game. Partly because of the sheer amount of racing tracks in the game, Mario Kart 7 features dozens of songs to race with. And like in Wipeout 2048, these songs fit very well with the tone of the game. One of the things I liked, which is a feature of most Mario Kart games, is how the music picks up on the last lap. It really helps bring up the intensity as you're fighting for a podium position before crossing the finish line. The sound effects are also rather good. Each character has his own or her own verbal quips which they say as they're taking damage. Dish out damage, or pass an opponent, or do various other things. Hearing Luigi say, "Not Luigi time," as he loses a race is genuinely funny and made me laugh. That said, the voices do get annoying after a while, especially that stupid voice they put on your Mii should you pick it. Also, the different sized carts don't sound different enough. It would have been cool to see carts shaped like planes sound like planes, or the carts shaped like trains sound like trains, but they don't. Overall, both games feature great sound, but the wicked engine sounds and the custom soundtrack options of Wipeout 2048 push it above Mario Kart 7 in this category as well. Wipeout 2048 is a definite departure in the series in terms of core gameplay. Instead of random weapon pads being scattered all over the field, they are now divided into offensive and defensive weapon pads. If you're close to the back of the pack, aiming to pick up offensive weapons such as missiles and Quake is probably the way to go. But if you're in the middle or the front of the track, with aggressive opponents breathing down your back, you may want to go with more defensive weapons, such as mines, bombs, and shields, and others. This adds strategy and depth to the series that simply isn't there in other games. Like other Wipeout games, this game is blisteringly fast. I mean, seriously fast. I haven't even been able to get to the fastest Mach speeds in zone modes. It's that fast. This speed literally makes Mario Kart 7, even on its fastest speed, look like it's running in slow motion. However, this being a portable game, the speed can sometimes be a downside. It requires the utmost concentration to race on anything A-class speed or faster, and a simple bump on the bus or a distraction while waiting for the train can literally send you flying off a cliff or slamming into a wall because of this. Which brings us to another downside of the game, the load times. The load times in this game can literally go up to a minute for a track, and it's very annoying considering this is on a portable system, and you'll be spending about a fifth of your time watching a load screen as you load races. Compared to Mario Kart 7's lightning-quick load screens, this is rather unacceptable. The tracks are also quite limited. The game only features 14 total tracks, compared to Mario Kart 7's 32 tracks. Though, the campaign does a good enough job breaking up the tracks with different modes so that they don't feel repetitive, and mastering the skill cuts for each track takes a long time. The game features 4 core modes for offline play: Race, Combat, Zones, and Speed Lap. These 4 modes are divided up between 3 different seasons of Wipeout. Completing several events unlocks the main event of that season, which, if beaten, will unlock the next season. A skilled racer can beat all 3 seasons in just a couple hours, but unlocking other races, chasing trophies, and unlocking all the ships will take many, many hours. The online mode for Wipeout 2048 is very unique. Race and combat modes are available for online for up to 8 players, but what really makes the online mode unique is its progression. The progression for the multiplayer mode features unique challenges which you have to complete in order to unlock the next ones. The challenges range from simple things like not finishing in last place, or hitting any opponent with any weapon, to very specific ones like finishing first or second, or hitting a specific opponent with a specific weapon. All the while you're earning experience points, which unlock new ships for you to use in all modes. Another unique feature for the online is the crossplay, which lets you play against Wipeout HD players on PS3 on 4 tracks. Players of other Mario Kart games will be immediately familiar with Mario Kart 7's gameplay. As opposed to innovating or changing the formula, Nintendo chose to tighten up the gameplay instead. Steering feels responsive and tight, power sliding feels better than it ever has, and the snaking maneuver from Mario Kart DS is obviously no longer working. Coins serve more of a purpose in gameplay now, giving you a tiny speed boost as you get them, and slightly increasing your top speed as you collect them. Weapons, for the most part, are largely the same as other Mario Karts, with some new additions like the Tanuki Tail or the 7 weapon. Though, it doesn't seem Nintendo has tightened everything up. There is at least one specific glitch on one specific track which lets you skip nearly half of it, which Nintendo specifically stated they will not fix. To this day, players are still trying to pick that track online and abuse that glitch, and Nintendo's stance on fixing the issue is very problematic. As mentioned before, Mario Kart 7 features a staggering 32 different tracks. However, half those tracks are rehashes from other Mario Kart games. Personally, I could do without racing on Rainbow Road like I've been doing for the past decade. It would have been nice if Nintendo put more effort towards making some of the new tracks longer. The new tracks, however, are quite good. The offline mode for this game consists of tournament-style racing. 8 different cups are available for choosing, with 4 different tracks on each of them. More points are awarded for higher place finishes, and the person with the most points at the end of it wins. Beating all the cups will take the average racer a few hours, but trying to get a 3-star rating on each will take many infuriating hours. Speaking of infuriating, I need to talk about a problem inherent in all Mario Kart games, and that's the weapons. People in the front of the pack tend to get green shells and bananas, which are relatively harmless weapons. People near the back of the pack, however, tend to get blue shells and lightning, which are not only harmful but game-changing. I'm aware why Nintendo did this. They never wanted the player to feel like he or she is out of the game. But I'm sorry, leading the entire race and getting hit with a fucking blue shell 5 feet from the finish line only to finish 6th is infuriating and unavoidable. Getting hit by lightning in the middle of a jump between a gap in the same scenario, which causes you to fall down the gap and lose the race as a result, is equally infuriating. I found it to be beneficial just to stay in 2nd place for the entire race just to avoid blue shells, and that's stupid. That should never happen. I should not have to do that, and it literally drives me crazy. The online mode for Mario Kart 7 is the most full-featured of any Mario Kart game that came before it. Ranked Online is a lobby where you and 7 other players race for player points, but these player points do not unlock anything like they do in Wipeout 2048, and are just there as an indicator of a player's skill. Battle modes are not integrated into Ranked Online, and are available separately, but they feature their own exclusive tracks and are less linear than Wipeout 2048's combat mode, and are overall more fun to me. More online options are available through the community mode, which lets you join private or public communities and race against specific community members with a variety of modified rules. These are fun, but again, it lacks any sort of progression aspect, which makes Wipeout 2048 so addictive. Overall, while Wipeout has more options, innovates more, and has more full-featured online, we have to remember that this game is on a portable system. Racing in the A-class or faster speeds requires tremendous concentration, which just isn't viable while out and about, and those load times are atrocious, and inexcusable given the solid-state nature of the Vita. Because of these issues, Mario Kart 7 has to take it in the gameplay category. Given the back-and-forth battle between the two games, it's hard to pick a clear overall winner. I do feel that Wipeout had the potential to run away with this battle, but fell flat because of some huge flaws. Mario Kart, despite my frustrations with the nature of the series, is technically the most solid and balanced game in the series. Because it lacks the issues Wipeout has with regards to what makes a great portable game, I found myself enjoying it much more on the road. But because Wipeout is deeper, more balanced, and more full-featured, I found myself enjoying it while at home. So overall, I'd have to call this battle a tie.